But I just want to say thank you so much to the Premier and the MEC for taking me around to all the 3 areas of the work that they are doing in the province. I've been hugely impressed with the level of preparedness of our province here in Gauteng with regard to preparations for having a quarantine area, having a place where we can treat those who are regarded as being positive with COVID-19. We've been saying that the country now needs to get very well prepared because we are going to be reaching a peak somewhere later in August and in September where we will need lots of hospital beds. And what I saw today is most impressive because we are ramping up to almost 10,000 beds here in Gauteng. And we are also ramping up isolation places. And I was impressed with the level of care that the MEC and his staff are putting into making sure that those places are well set up, they are medically efficient, and that the equipment for treating people will all be there. I was also taken to the food bank where distribution of food parcels is happening in the most dignified way. We have always been worried about distribution of food parcels where people queue up and where social distancing is not possible. But they showed me where they are logistically making sure that food is well distributed to various distribution areas in the province, and that a lot of care is taken in having proper data of those who need the care and the food. So I was hugely impressed, but I was also impressed about those good Samaritans who are contributing foodstuffs to the distribution center, and the province has been really fortunate to get so many of them. And here at the Charlotte Maxeke Hospital, I've been so really impressed that this hospital has now been transformed. It has had 12 ICU units. It is now going to ramp up to 100, and that is phenomenal. And in many ways, this hospital, through the COVID crisis, is now being transformed to be ready for NHI. And we are putting the building blocks in place, but at the same time, having the properly trained staff being able to treat COVID patients. And I was very impressed with the many health workers who are here, from professors right down to the lowest level. The level of dedication, commitment, as well as sacrifice. Some of them are so willing to sacrifice, and some of them have even contracted the disease. Our frontline health workers are the real foot soldiers that we have to fight against this invisible enemy. And we thank them. The country can't thank them enough. And I will continue to thank them and recognize them for the excellent work that they are doing, putting themselves right in the epicenter of danger is precisely what we are grateful for, and the country needs to thank them. So all in all, I'm most impressed with the work that the province is doing here. And the question of financial resources becomes easy when the province demonstrates that it is both innovative, it is being far-sighted, foresightful, and in many ways really working hard to make sure that it safeguards the health as well as the lives of the people of this province. I was also most impressed because there's also innovation at a technological level here. They have, at this hospital, innovated a system through which health workers can treat people who are COVID positive and still be able to be safe. And this is now going to be spread out to other hospitals in the country, And I would like to see quite a number of these units being sent to the rest of the continent. So South Africa, once again, is defining itself as the center of innovation, even during this crisis. So I say thank you to the Premier and the MEC for the excellent work that they are doing, and the staff of this hospital, and the CEO of the hospital as well. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Malungelo, go first.
My name is Malungelo, President from Newsroom Africa. You're saying you're very impressed with how Gauteng is preparing for this pandemic. I wonder then, Mr. President, what do you make of preparations in other provinces, for example, like the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal? How are you satisfied there as well?
Well, I will be going to those provinces as well. I will go so that I can see the level of preparedness, and also to thank them for the work they are doing. Both provinces are actually pulling out all stops to get ready, and I know that they are already putting up quarantine centers. And the other important thing with this province, as well as other provinces, is just the ramping up of screening. In this province alone, we've already screened almost 1 million people, and the testing is being upgraded as well. And the various other provinces in the country are doing the same. So the country is now really in a mode of getting the upgrading of screening and testing, and also getting ready for quarantining people and isolating people. I am getting satisfied with the reports that we keep getting at the Coronavirus Command Center.
Thank you. Tidi Media from News 24. It's almost a two-pronged question, sir. The first one I've got to ask about the 20 billion that's going to the municipalities. What is being done to prevent what we've been seeing from happening? You yourself have raised concerns over councillors disrupting food chains. A lot of corruption happens at local government level. What is going to intervene and stop what we know to often happen in our country? And I just quickly wanted to ask your conversation with President Donald Trump, American president, who initiated, and also did you express your views around the cutting of funding in this conversation with him yesterday? Thank you.
Well, on the money that we are going to make available to municipalities, our municipalities have come forward to us to say that with the lockdown, they are not able to collect their rates and taxes, and they are running short of resources and funding. So we responded positively to their request that we need to enable our municipalities to have the resources. But more importantly, we are giving them another task to make sure that the water tanks are actually installed, because that's their responsibility. But we're also making sure that sanitation needs to be looked after. And we are going to keep a hawk's eye on how the money is going to be spent. I spoke to the Auditor General yesterday, and I said, Auditor General, we need to put in place systems on a proactive basis to prevent the abuse of the resources that we are putting in place, so that money does not end up in people's pockets. Like, for instance, with food resources and food parcels, we abhor the fact that there have been stories and allegations that some of these have ended up in people's pockets, and councillors have been abusing this. So we want to stamp that out from the onset, and we actually want to take proactive and are taking proactive steps to ensure that it does not happen. I do not want to hear of a commission request after the COVID package. I don't want to hear of a COVID commission, and therefore we want to take proactive steps. Yesterday, yes, I spoke to President Donald Trump. He initiated the conversation. He wanted to speak to me. And I must say that I've been speaking to many other heads of state, and there seems to be a general sense of solidarity that is going around the world with many heads of state. And he wanted to know how we were doing as South Africa and pledge his support for the work that we are doing. But he was also saying that he is most impressed from the reports that he has heard about the way we are managing the issue of COVID. We did not get to the point of discussing the resources to the WHO, but our position is very clear that the resources and the funding to the WHO should not be cut. In fact, this is the time when funding should be increased to the WHO, because the WHO needs all the resources at this point in time. This morning I also spoke to the Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, and exactly the same type of solidarity is flowing around. They are willing to assist us as much as possible, but they are also willing to learn from what we are doing here. Because as the WHO has said, they see South Africa being ahead of the curve in a number of areas in the way that we are handling the COVID pandemic. So there is a lot that we are doing that people are recognizing and are applauding, and this cascades down to the level of our provinces, to the level of our metros, and that's why I'm eternally grateful for the way in which our colleagues at the provincial level are doing this. But I must also add that we are also eternally grateful for the way you, as the media, are reporting on this COVID-19. You are very, very positive, and you have not been spreading false news.
Why do you make
So I'm really happy with the way that you are reporting on this, and that is why we will keep on feeding you with information. So you see, the one hand washes the other. When you report, in the way you are reporting, we'll keep on feeding you with information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President.
Thank you.